I saw this story and I thought it was good sound, and it was I do on some level I feel for Russell Westbrook. Okay, and stick with me for a second, if you will. I've heard a lot of things out of the Lakers, and some other NBA people have mentioned things to me that aren't great. And I believe I'll get to what I've heard some of the bigger issues are with Russell Westbrook and with the Lakers. But I also understand that, like, when you're a basketball player, okay, and I don't know how to relate it to anything in business, but I think I could try. But just from a basketball perspective, you grow up and Russell Westbrook grows up in Los Angeles. The Lakers have Shaq and Kobe, and then Kobe wins 2 more titles afterwards. I don't think there's any human being who plays at UCLA, is from Southern California, grows up in the shadow of the Lakers that hasn't been like, you know what, wouldn't it be amazing someday to play for the Forum Blue and Gold, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, I'm obviously substantially older than Russell Westbrook. I was fortunate during my childhood to watch Magic and James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Byron Scott and the Koopa Loop, Kurt Rambis, AC Green. And I remember I wasn't a Laker fan growing up. I wasn't. I was really kind of a Celtics fan, right? Like, I had East Coast ties plus it was just when everybody likes one thing, you're like, ugh. I wasn't. But I got the chance 3 different times, 3 different summers to, on some level, work out for, play for, being a veterans free agent mini camp for the LA Lakers. And you walk through those halls and you see not just the pictures of Kareem and Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and all the other, George Mike and all the other superstars to ever don the Laker blue and gold. Then you see Magic and then you see pictures of Kobe and Shaq, and you run into Derek Fisher in the hallway, and you start to think, like, what if I played for the Lakers? There's not a dude alive who plays basketball that didn't think about the Lakers. And then you're from Los Angeles, and for Russell Westbrook, like, look, he's been to an NBA Finals. He's been an NBA Finals MVP. He's averaged triple-double 3 consecutive years. He's done just about everything. Wouldn't that be cool to play for the Lakers? Oh, yeah, they just won a title 2 years ago. They got LeBron James. All of these things, like, all coming together. So whatever you think his vision should have been for playing with the Lakers, everybody thinks you come home, you get a victory parade, you win a title, and you ride off into the sunset as one of the best, if not the best, basketball city in the world in terms of producing talent, as one of their greatest players ever. It is not working out that way. Not working out that way. But I can at least on many levels hypothesize what could be going on in Russell Westbrook's head. And, like, look, he hasn't been a good shooter, hasn't been a good finisher for his career, but it shouldn't be this bad. The mistakes shouldn't be this egregious. It's bad. And last night it was really bad. They lose to the Sacramento Kings, and when he got the ball, the in-house DJ, right? The in-house DJ was playing a little Foreigner ditty, Cold as Ice. Now, obviously, that means he hasn't been playing well. His head coach came out and said he's in a bit of a slump. Take a listen to Dan Wojcicki covers the team.
Russ, you're in a little bit of a shooting slump here over these last 4 games.
Man, who are you telling?
The in-arena DJ had fun with it. I guess sort of where are you at? Did you hear what they played? They played like Cold as Ice when you got introduced and stuff.
Who? The arena?
Yeah.
That's funny. They play that. I hope they play that the last 14 years, too. It's funny they play it now. That's cute. That's cute.
So Russell Westbrook is in more than a little bit of a shooting slump of late, right? Like, that's being about as kind as we can be to Russell Westbrook. 4 games ago, Russ was 7 of 19. The following game, they played Atlanta. He was 4 of 14. 2 of 12 against Memphis. It was bad. And then 2 of 14 last night. He has missed his last 15 3-point shots. He's 0 of 15. That dates back 6 games. 6 games. He hasn't made a 3 in 7 games. And he's missed his last 15 threes. So, and look, what I have heard from other guys in the league was, when they played Memphis, the previous game, they were getting blown out, and then he left the bench and was in the tunnel, like waiting for the game to be over. And then they go on a run. He sits on the bench but doesn't stand up and cheer. And I've just heard that, that when things go bad, guys, some guys get defensive, some guys work harder, some guys take more shots, some guys won't shoot. The frustrating part for the Lakers is that no matter what his assist totals have been throughout his career, the general feeling around the league is Russ is about Russ. And when he's not playing well, he's so in his own head, so in his own world. Whether they win or whether they lose has no effect on Russ. But this is, it's getting worse, not getting better. This is not a wait till he relaxes, he gets comfortable, he plays with LeBron more. Yeah. With no Anthony Davis, there's plenty of room for him to get to the rim, and he's unable to do so even with LeBron playing quote-unquote center.
It is interesting that both you and just many people in general had made that point perfectly clear before the season began, before this trade happened, and it has come to fruition. It wasn't, you didn't say that because you were just making some guess. You actually hey, this is what this guy's about. I'm just letting you guys know that. And it actually, everything that people have said about Russell Westbrook is actually has happened. And I don't know why people would be, why they would put, surprised. They would, Gottlieb,
because I think
he doesn't know what he's talking about it's going to be different this time. Yeah,
it's not. Because I do think that people want, they want the Kurt Warner story. You didn't come back home, but they want. Remember, here's a Kurt Warner was kind of out of the league, and then he goes to Arizona. He's Matt Leinert's backup, and Matt Leinart gets hurt, and then he was pretty good, and then they still want to give the job to Leinart the next year, and Kurt Warner gets the job, wins the job, and he takes him to a Super Bowl. Everybody wants that Disney happy ending story. And I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. And it's one thing for it to not happen in Washington. They did turn it around in Washington last year. It's another thing to not happen in Houston, but to not happen in L.A., where I think so many of us wanted it to end up happily for an L.A.-born kid who has succeeded at UCLA, succeeded in the NBA, and won an MVP. Boy, it's really gone the opposite way.